Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Bastards post-game show. We are here, Terry and myself, to discuss today's losing effort by the Boston Red Sox in the finale of the series against the Seattle Mariners. Everything looked good to start, at least for the first 5 innings, Terry, with a 3-0 lead. Things were looking pretty great until the bullpen erupts. Kutter Crawford gets pulled early, and the floodgates opened. I want to welcome Terry in. Terry, how you doing?
Doing all right. Had a busy weekend. Wasn't a lot of baseball to be watched for me. I wasn't even on the regular podcast. I think actually you filled in on that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
appreciate that. But I did get to see most of this Mariner series. And Cutter Crawford, pretty good today. And no surprise, his road ERA is 2.36 at home at Fenway. 6.00. So Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and then, of course, that bullpen.
5 innings, no runs, low pitch count. On the Sunday show that we were on with Charlie and our other lovely gentleman who's also with us
Cody.
too, Cody. I don't know why I was forgetting Cody's name for a second. We talked about how Cutter Crawford is at a interesting point in the season with the high pitch count, with the innings amount that he's had. That might be playing a factor into why the heavy or why the early hook that happened today from Cora. But you got to win these ball games. And he went to Schreiber. You also have a day off tomorrow. I severely question the decisions that were made in game today by Alex Cora. I don't know how much you feel on it, but decision wise on stuff, especially with tomorrow off, you didn't use your heavy hitters. You didn't use hardly anybody. You threw the trash out, and your trash completely exploded out there on the mound.
Yeah, one of the factors in pulling Crawford, apparently his fastball had dropped 1.6 miles per hour. So maybe a little bit of concern there, not sure. But yeah, I mean, whenever you trot out guys like Schreiber should have been fine for one. He just didn't have it. The
Correct.
dumb move on Cora's part was that he brought him out for a second inning.
Completely agree. Completely
Yeah,
agreed.
and he had already been crushed by a lefty. I forgot who.
Cal
Cal Raleigh.
Raleigh. He
That's right.
erupted this series for the Mariners. That was your Achilles heel the entire series for the Red Sox.
Right, my bad. And Raleigh actually is a righty. That was my bad. But yeah, so Raleigh, is getting to be a Red Sox killer. There was a lot of Rowdy Tellez comps on Twitter, and he kind of got the party started for the Mariners. And not sure why when not Winkowski, Schreiber came out for that second inning. It was a little dumb, and then Richard Bleier comes out. And when the game's already slipping and you can feel the momentum, tilting towards the Mariners, Richard Bleier is just not the guy. And the dude got tattooed. Only lasted 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned. And then Lavera, the reliever we pulled off the giant scrap heap a week and a half or so ago, came in. But the bullpen just, looking questionable. A lot of these guys have been tired. It's really taxed. Chris Martin and Kenley Jansen aren't good going 2 days in a row, which is crazy because Jansen's a $16 million closer.
Sure.
Martin only getting paid about half that, but still, it's
I was
wonky.
very surprised that they didn't at least give Winkowski at least an inning today. They only used him for 1 inning yesterday. I didn't understand the logic behind why this was such a throwaway game for Cora. That I don't know if he's getting messages from Bloom and the lovely nerds up there saying this is what you have to go with. It was very unsatisfying. That's the taste that I had with the end result of what happened from this game. You had this game 3-0 going into that top of the 6th inning, and everything from that point just it erupted. I don't question Schreiber going in. I don't. But I do think I would have stretched Cutter for one more inning. I would have given him one more. If they came out and they got a couple hits to start that inning, or even maybe a hit or a walk or something, I would have brought in Schreiber at that point. But Schreiber going for those 2 innings was a very questionable move right there. I think that you should have been able to protect yourselves in a way with giving that day off today and doing everything that you could to win this game. You needed this game, and now it all feels like this West Coast trip was pathetic.
Yeah, you only won 2 out of 6 games out there. Another lefty option that should have been available instead of Bleier, of course, Brennan Bernardino hadn't pitched at all this series, so not sure what's going on there. Perhaps I'm missing something because, like I said, I didn't get to see a lot of the weekend games. But it was just a terrible performance by the bullpen today. Terrible in-game management by Alex Cora, and the Mariners sold off a couple of pieces, traded their closer, and it didn't seem to
matter to them. Yeah,
Nope.
It didn't matter to them whatsoever. Not 1 ounce. So now the Red Sox come home. They have a day off for tomorrow. It resets things a little bit. Now we have the Blue Jays, who we are neck and neck with right now in this whole wild card scenario that's playing itself out. Where do you see things turning for this series?
Well, it's looking like 2 bullpen games.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. We'll have Paxton in game 1. We're 7-0 against the Blue Jays. I'm just trying to see where they're at. They've won 6 out of their last 10, so we're not really catching them at a bad time. We're 2.5 games out of that third wild card that the Blue Jays do hold. So we'll see. I mean, Toronto has to get it together. They can't be that, perennial disappointment. They're a World Series championship team on paper coming into every season and always seem to underachieve. So,
well, they're a team that actually made some moves during this trade deadline. They got DeJohn from the Cardinals and everything there. So they at least are helping themselves get to a point where they're going to invest in this team. The other big news is Bo Bichette is out. They're going to miss him this upcoming series, which in my eyes, that's big. That's a big loss. So maybe that, the Red Sox get a little lucky without his production, helping the Blue Jays out from there. But at least in a way, you have Paxton leading off this series on Friday. I'm going to be hopeful on this one, and I've enjoyed Paxton as he's been a member in this rotation, and I'm looking for him to get that win. I'm looking for a win to lead this series off on Friday night. Coming back home, you need to show that your team is going to be in the hunt here.
Yeah, I'm going to give the edge to the Red Sox in game 1. Alek Manoah has pitched okay since his return. This will be his 5th start. He hasn't really been tattooed at all. Only lasted 3 innings, I guess, against the Padres. They put up 4 earned runs against him. But the one glaring problem Manoah still does have is the walks. That start against the Padres, walked 5. Next start against the Mariners, who we just played, walked 4. And his most recent start, which was on Saturday against Anaheim, he walked 3. So he still seems to be working through some things. And I think this Red Sox lineup is pesky enough to give him a lot of fits and continue, the undefeated trend they have this season. So I'll give the edge to Paxton and the Red Sox in this one,
Yeah,
just to appease the haters.
They just got to draw it out with being patient here with Manoah. He's not as bad as he was, obviously, at the start of this season. Everything he's made some adjustments to get himself back to the major league club, but that's another reason why I'm also leaning towards the Red Sox coming out, producing a nice game against the Blue Jays, and hopefully solidifying this series to get them off to a nice win to start the series. So that's my hope for that. That's going to do it here for our post-game wrap. We will see you after the Blue Jays game on Friday night. Have a good one, everybody.